Hello and welcome to another episode of In the Wheels. Today we are joined by a fantastic British rider called Paul Double. We have had him on before when he was racing for Polly Cometa. Now he's racing for Jaco Alula, and he's a great chat. I hope you enjoy getting his kind of post-Giro thoughts, because it was his first Grand Tour, so we thought it'd be a great time to catch up with him and see how things went. So yeah, sit back, enjoy a bit of a quicker episode than usual, but totally worth a bit of time, and just so interesting in terms of what you can learn about Grand Tour racing and just life in the World Tour.
Hi, thank you so much for joining me today. How are you doing?
Very well, thank you. And you?
Yeah, not too bad. It's been a while since we last spoke. About, I'd say just over a year.
I think so.
Um,
It's funny. You asked me to download this app, and I think I literally deleted it about a week ago, which is
Perfect.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, like last time we spoke, actually, yeah, it was post tour of Turkey because you
Yeah,
did
last
really well
Pulses.
there.
Yeah,
And it was kind of pre-Giro, and everyone was expecting you to go, and obviously decisions were made differently, and you said like it was probably for the best anyway that you didn't go. Like you'd done a heavy block of racing, if I recall.
yeah.
Um, how did it feel to get selected this year? Like how also like I'm always fascinated by the kind of mechanics of the situation. Like did you get much say? Did you get to go? Oh, I'd love to do a grand tour this year, and they go, okay, cool, we'll bear that in mind, or like, yeah, how does that all function?
I think from the first meetings with the team, uh, the general plan was for me to go to the Giro. So obviously things can change, and it wasn't guaranteed.
Mm.
So I think it's still a big thing to finally get selected and go to the Giro. But yeah, I think that's always been my plan with the team this year to go to the Giro. And I suppose coming to a World Tour team, especially a little bit older, I would imagine that was always the plan to send me to my first Grand Tour.
Yeah, and how was that as an experience? Because people say like, oh, grand tour changes a rider. Like, do you think it has?
I don't know currently, but I hope so, and I to be honest, I think so. It was yeah, it was amazing actually. First week was really good. Um, I felt super good. Um, and probably at that point was a bit. Obviously, we're going there to support. Initially, we're there to support Chris. Go for stage results, but support Chris for classification. That changed as the race went on. Chris obviously bagged a spectacular win later on in the race. So that was amazing. But yeah, I'd been hanging with him, and I was like, I said to the DS one day, oh, maybe if I support Chris in the mountains, obviously there's going to be days where I sacrifice completely, but maybe I can just see how I keep going through the race and see how the general classification goes. This is the first week where I'm feeling amazing, and then we have a middle block, which was probably for me the toughest block. I think there was a 240k stage, which was neutralized in the end, but you're still doing 240k stage, 240ks. then we had, then I was in the breakaway, so that was a big day out, and then the day after that was when Plappy won, and wow, the first 2 hours were just full gas, and I was a shell of a man that day by the end. And then the day after that, we had Strada Bianchi stage, and there's a picture of me on the bus after this stage, just on the floor, just asleep. So yeah, I was in a bit of a state after this, and it took me a little bit of time to recover, but I was never perfect again at the end in the last week. But a few stages towards the end, I felt a bit more my normal self, which was nice to not be completely written off and see that I had something left in the third week. So I hope in the future um, to feel better. There will always be bad times in a Grand Tour. I've realised, but hopefully I can perform more consistently throughout for a Grand Tour in the future.
Yeah, because I suppose like the longest you will have done before then was like I guess a 7-day stage race maybe.
Yeah, or 8
Like,
in Langkawi, maybe.
yeah,
Maybe yeah, around that.
because like that step up to go from an 8-day to 21 day. Yeah, you're not racing every single day. You've got rest days, but like even I don't mean to brag, but I did the youth tour of Isle of Man like when I was younger,
Hmm.
which is not a brag at all, by the way, for anyone not in the know listening. But like I found day 3, I was just completely spent, and I didn't really complete stage 2. I did a few laps and just got shelled. Um, but like just backing it up day after day is hard, and
Oh,
then
it's yeah.
to do it that to go from 8 to 21. Yeah, to me that's quite a step actually thinking about it.
Yeah. No, I to just before we did Tour of the Alps, which is a tough stage race in its own right, and I was had a nice race there personally. And I'm a bit English, I like to exaggerate my feelings. So every day I'll come down to breakfast. Oh, my legs hurt, and Demarchi and Bauman, they're like, in the Giro you're gonna have 15 days more racing to go. So they were teasing me about this. Um, but yeah, I think. Sorry, I lost my train of thought. But having done the Giro now, I feel like for sure the racing is hard in all the professional races, but it's all gonna feel relatively easier if that makes sense. Like
Yeah.
it was just crazy. I used to watch it on TV and think, how do they do this? And somehow I've made it through. And I still kind of wonder how we do it because it's so hard. Like your whole body just hurts for 3 weeks basically.
Yeah, it's one of those weird things. I guess we're kind of seeing it with the women's side of racing where they're trying to increase the Giro and the Vuelta and the Tour de France Femme. And it's like there's always the question of do we make it a grand tour for them? And it's like it kind of brings the question of like grand tours probably wouldn't exist if they started in the year 2000 because like you'd just go 21 days. Are you mental? But
Yeah,
like
yeah. No,
due
you're
to the history that we kind of go, I suppose it's tradition really, we better keep
yeah.
going.
No, you're right. It's no, it's it's insane, and I think that's what makes it amazing. Like it's you get in this routine. Is if it coming away from the Giro now, I don't miss it. I was ready for some time off, but you're away for best part of a month, probably a month, the whole period
Mm.
before and traveling. Um, and you get in this. It's like it's your life. It's your daily routine. And to start with, it feels a bit weird, just like a normal race does. And then after a week or so, you're just like, this is normal life, and it's completely the opposite. It's far from normal life.
Yeah, I suppose also like because there's always that joke of like if you're asking a rider around like stage 16, ask a rider what day it is, and they just wouldn't know. They'd tell you the start town, the end town, maybe a bit of a route, like the kilometers and the number of the stage they're on, but quote unquote normal things like the day of the week it is,
To be
wouldn't have
honest,
a clue.
I don't know the day of the week any day. To be honest, so
Yeah, that's true. Like,
it's all
I
the
guess
same.
is that made harder by being a cyclist because like I guess for people who work in offices, it's the daily, 9 to 5, and
Yeah,
the week is kind of structured. Likewise, people in schools, in universities, but like races tend to happen at a weekend.
yeah, and
Always,
and
like,
we train at the weekends, so I suppose yeah, it all just blends into one.
yeah, God.
Yeah.
But yeah, like going back to Giro, like obviously stage 7 was your big day out. Like how hard is it to get into the breakaway? Are you having to be like super analytical or are you just jumping on everything?
So I was super determined to get in the break that day. The fight for the break is also just, and it was so fast every day. Especially the flat stages are more difficult for me. Where as soon as it starts going uphill, that's where I try and help the team to get us in the break. But on the flat, it's always difficult. You have to the bigger guys following on the flatter stuff, and then obviously me and the lighter guys, we can follow easier on the climbs. But that day, yeah, it was super hard. Uh, I probably just kind of got in the break on brute strength, to be honest. I need to be smarter for sure. But I did it. I thought I'd missed it, and then there was basically one last. It was the road was being blocked, and there's one last little drag up. So I saw the gap open on the right, and yeah, I think I did my 1 minute PB for the year, bridging across to the break. So,
Jesus.
yeah, it was quite good.
I guess that's the Grand Tour difference, isn't it? Like everything that you're trying to do, like just to use the Tour of the Alps as a kind of counterpoint. Like if you're trying to get in the break in there and you're like, oh, it hasn't gone. Oh well, like it's at the end of the day, it's the Tour of the Alps, and that's no disrespect on that race, but there's a scale of magnitude of the race as well.
Sure, but I think every race we go to, we're as professional as possible,
Mm,
and if the plan is for me to be in the break or me to help get some of the team into the break, we keep going until we've made that happen. And if it doesn't happen, then really it's yeah we've had a bad day.
mm,
Okay, things can change later in the race, but if that's the goal, we try and make that happen.
yeah, that's
So
fair.
whether it's Tour of the Alps or the Giro, I think it's important to make sure we fulfill the task in hand.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And would you go back, like, and if you do obviously go back to a Grand Tour, like, would you still go back with ambitions for stage wins, or would you be more of a classification rider? How is it feeling for you now?
I think that's something we've still got a lot of racing to go this year, and we can see how I go with the team. And I don't know. I think that's something that I discussed with the team and the expertise they have. For sure, this time there was no way.
Hmm.
But if there's things we can work on, I mean, both is a great option. I don't know that right now.
Yeah,
At the end of the day, you're racing a Grand Tour to get a result, and that's super exciting. Whether
yeah,
it's stages or general classification.
yeah, definitely. And do you actually have a favoured Grand Tour? Because obviously Tour de France is the one that everyone knows, but within cycling, people like have a preference, and
Yeah,
yeah.
I think the Tour de France is like the ultimate bike race. But probably for me, the Giro is. I saw the finish to the Dauphiné yesterday, for example, and I was
Mm,
like, it's an interesting finish, really. It's just in the middle of a field,
mm,
and in Italy this wouldn't happen. You know,
yeah.
like it's just okay. The Tour de France is obviously an amazing spectacle, but they just know how to run a bike race in Italy for the spectator, for the public out on the road. Like it's cool, you know.
Yeah, you say that I know a lot of well, I don't know a lot actually, but I know there's TV producers from Italy, um, notably Strada Bianca, where they don't know how to film the finish. Maybe it's just because it's in Siena, it's difficult, like because of all the tall buildings, but that finish is never well filmed, and I guess
Yeah, I don't.
it's one
Yeah,
you
I
have
don't
to
know about
be
that.
in.
But when you're there, it feels like wow, it's incredible.
Yeah. Also, so what is left for the year? Um, Obviously a bit of rest. Are
Yeah,
you
I've had
doing natty champs or?
no. So in the end, we decided I wouldn't go to national champs. Logistically, it's difficult, and we wanted me to rest after the Giro, and then I will go to Austria. But after that, we're still planning what's to come.
Oh, nice. Yeah,
So
it'll be interesting to see what's happening in the future. I want to actually rewind almost, um, because obviously last time we spoke, you were with Polti Cometa.
Hmm.
or was that now Polti
Yeah,
Malta?
Visit Malta.
Yeah. But like, how did the Jayco contract come about? Was that already having discussions when we spoke, or what was the sort of time frame?
No, so I think I did Turkey last year, and then
Mhm.
a break similar to this year. And then I went to Slovenia, and on the Queen stage, I was second there. I would have had a good GC result, but I crashed in an earlier stage and lost a bit of time. And I think spoke with Gary, and yeah, I think we thought we can seriously look at World Tour as an option. But it was for me important the right World Tour, where I felt because I was super happy at Polti. So I didn't want to go somewhere where I was going to be less happy.
Yeah.
But at the same time, World Tours, I don't think it was something I could turn down. So I said of some teams which I thought would suit, and Jayco was probably one of the ones at the top, if not the top. And yeah, spoke with Matt White, and things just moved from there. And yeah, I'm super happy to be on board with the team. Would have been my pick, you know.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. And does it make a difference that it's so like Anglophile? Because obviously it's an Australian team. There's there's fellow Brits on the team as well as Aussies and other English speakers. Does that help? Do you
Oh,
think?
I think for me it's perfect because yeah, it's got that Aussie English
Mm.
English speaking culture, like yeah, English speaking. Um, but also it's the service course is based in Italy. There's lots of staff from Italy riders as well, so there's a perfect mix for me because yeah, I spent enough time in Italy to feel at home in Italy and around Italian people.
Oh, awesome. So yeah, I think that's pretty much everything. It's a nice little catch up. Um, how can people follow you if they haven't started following you before?
Just the usual things: Strava, Instagram. Um, yeah, I had Twitter, but maybe don't use it as much. So.
No, I think that platform's dying a bit of a death if I'm honest.
Is it not even called Twitter? Is it?
No, it's X, the everything app.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. Although people have started migrating to Blue Sky, and there's a few teams on that.
What's that?
It's like a facsimile of Twitter, but if
Uh,
all the racists stayed at home. So
oh,
that's how
dear.
I like to view it.
Yeah, yeah,
Um, Slightly less interactive because it's less popular, but it's kind
yeah.
of it does feel like a nice community so far.
Uh-huh.
So
There you go.
yeah, well,
Yes.
I'll make sure all those links are posted in the show notes as well as on screen.
Okay.
Um, and yeah, I can't wait to see what happens. Enjoy Austria, I guess
Thank you.
the
Yeah. It,
Österreich-Rundfahrt.
I Tour of Austria. Yeah, you know better than
Yeah.
me, probably. Yeah.
Awesome. Well,
Brilliant.
yeah. Look forward to seeing how you get on and hopefully speak again soon.
All right. Thanks for your time.
Well, there you go. I hope you enjoyed listening to us chatting with Paul Double. He's a really great guy, as I say, and just so nice to chat to him and catch up. Hopefully we're going to be bringing you some really interesting chats from up-and-coming riders as well as some more established riders. So until then, ta-ta!